Okay, so these are the bear fits from June 6th. We have 5 fights in this round, so this is round 2. First one is Brutus versus Veron. Okay, right off the bat, I like some stuff that Brutus is doing. So he's working on what I call a offensive blocking. I don't know if he's doing it consciously or not, but like it's some really good attempts. So we'll watch that again. Play right from the beginning. So he's using the true edge of his sword. He's attacking Veron's sword, which is always a good choice. Attack a weapon. He's trying to push it out of the way. One of the things that you're going to see is the flex in the blades, the bending in the blades, because you were putting strong against weak. So right here you can see that more of Brutus's mezzo, or the center part of his blade, is on Veron's foible, which is why Veron's blade has a bend in it right now. Which is one way of approaching an attack, but Veron's just stronger. So Brutus's attack is not working very well. Also because it flips off. So attacking the blade right there was a good example. Let's see if we can go back 2 seconds. It just flips off the tip. Let's see if I can get a good example for you. Right there, it just flips off. So it gives Veron that opportunity to ready and flips off. It just means that Veron can return a shot. So I like that Brutus was being assertive and really going for it, which is kind of what you have to do when you're just facing Veron. Okay, so this fight stood out to me a lot, mostly because nothing happens, but right at the end, there's some pretty cool stuff. So right here, they're setting up, we'll come back up to speed. And look at how cool they both are. They're prepped. They're not freaking out. They're not tensing up, just waiting for the opportunity. I really like Velkhana's line of attack. It's very clear right there. So they stood there for a good 20 seconds waiting for each other to move, which is, it takes some nerve to be able to do that. We're going to slow this fight all the way down so you can see at the end. I wish I could zoom in for you. But what's going to happen is Veron is going to strike towards the center. Velkhana is going to block ever so slightly with the back of his blade. But then Veron is going to come around and under and then over the top of Velkhana's wrist to kill him. And it happens blindingly fast. Good offhand work. It's, sorry for the excruciating slow, but I don't know exactly when it happens. Preps, little teeny tiny step from Velkhana getting in there for he's setting up for a shot, but Veron just interrupts his timing right before Velkhana's going to strike. He can see the dip down in the sword, and he comes around. It looks like a straight shot through the center, but it's not. I had to watch this like so many times. So Velkhana's prepping for the attack. Little steps. He does, I think, another one right here in just a second. And as soon as his sword moves, Veron takes the advantage of it. It's so slow, so tiny, 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 tiny little movements. Ready? He tries for the center. He misses. Veron slips around and comes and kills. You're going to watch it again because you should. It's interesting because Veron uses the back end of his wrist to get it, where he comes around and kills. It's so good. All right, we'll speed that back up. We'll get to the next fight. Next fight is Edward. Okay, so Edward always fights with a really, really beautiful open stance, and I would say in a very assertive forward hip, where he's just coming in, retreat saves your life right there. It's a nice retreat. We're going to pause really quick. Actually, just rewind 2 seconds. Pause. Okay, so both of them are in this super relaxed stance. They're far enough away that even if Edward were to lunge, Veron would just like tilt back like 2 steps or like 2 inches and he wouldn't die, right? So they know that they can't die right here, both of them. And so they're very relaxed. Their shoulders are super open. Swords are way down here on the ground for both of them. They're kind of just sizing each other up. But I think that in the end is actually why Edward dies in this fight. I've watched this fight a whole bunch too. So Edward kind of goes on the offensive. He's testing out, making sure he knows where Veron's sword is. He's going to step forward. And again, right there, that's exactly what happened. They're in striking range now for a lunge. And like you can see exactly what I was saying just a second ago. Edward goes for a tiny little and like it's not a real strike, but Veron knows it could have been. And so he just goes just a little bit back just to stay out of it. But then it's almost like Edward thinks he has enough space, but he doesn't. Because watch as Veron changes the space really quick. So we're going to see another little eat from Edward, a little press forward here. Veron steps back. Edward thinks he's safe, and he dies. I just think this is fascinating because you're going to see a good swoop step and then a return step. There, and so he's way back, right? Like nobody can hit each other. And then we'll slow it way down. Ta-da. But then when he comes forward again, he's closer and that closing of the distance. And I think it's because Edward's style is so open that he wasn't prepared. Like he wasn't guarding his center at all when that happened. Watch it again. Little void. Step back. I wonder if I can even show you the foot placement. Okay, so here's where his foot is right now. Okay. Edward comes in, the swoop step back. Okay. And then we're going to take a nice little step forward again. And it's because Edward closes the distance, but still, it's just not guarded. His strike isn't guarded. I thought that one was fascinating too. Okay. Come back up to speed. Okay, last fight. We can't see a lot in this fight because the fight just turns, but I'll show you what I did see in this fight. Not by drawing a clear dot. Okay. Okay. So you can't see a ton in that fight. But just knowing how Olvaid fights, he's very, very guarded in his center. And his point control is incredible. And I think the reason why it's a double in this fight is because Veron's guard is actually too low. Olvaid's is up and above, and his tip control is such that, like, where most people would be able to come up and block someone else's tip, you can't do that with Olvaid because he just has this slippery ability to just come around your sword and strike right in the core, which I think you can kind of see right there. Yeah. So good fights, everybody. Well done for Veron for wrapping the line on that one. Brutus had some really good efforts at taking down Veron's sword. Velcano was very cool under pressure. Edward has very confident in his very nice stance and movement forward and backwards. The retreats are saving him. Bring up that guard a little bit, you'll be okay. And Olvaid, point control, always amazing. So good fights, everybody. Love it.